Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, da 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 dee die da. Diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, la da da dee die da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Ay, diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da 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 da. Diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, da da dee die da. Oh, diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, oh. Diddy die, die, oh, diddy die, die, da da dee die da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da da dee da da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da. Diddy die, die, da dee die, ay, ay, da dee die, ay, ay, da. Ay, diddy die, die, da da dee da da. Mother, die, die, da da dee da da. Diddy die, die, oh, da da die, die, da.
לדודי ודודי לי הראל בשושנים אני לדודי ודודי לי הראל בשושנים אחתי יונתי תמתי אחתי יונתי תמתי אחתי אני לדודי ודודי לי הרואה בשושנים דודי אמר לי קומי לך רעייתי דודי אמר לי קומי לך רעייתי כשושנה בין החורים שושנה בין החורים כן רעייתי אני לדודי ודודי לי הרואה בשושנים יפה רעייתי עינייך יוני עינייך יפה רעייתי עינייך יוני
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our service for this lovely Erev Shabbat. Just about 10 days before the start of our Yamim Noraim, the High Holy Days. I'm sure we'll talk somewhat about that later in the service, and Rabbi shares his teaching, and we tell you about some of the things coming up. But wonderful to have you here on all of our various platforms, and I want to say Shalom Rav.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good to be with you and encourage you, many have been doing so, to say hello. If you're on Facebook, to just say hello to the other people there so that they know that you are with us as we join with one another in this virtual world for Shabbat. And we are getting close to Rosh Hashanah. We have just this Shabbat and next Shabbat, and then Rosh Hashanah will be right upon us. And Slichot is tomorrow night, which is really the beginning of our High Holy Days. So we're coming right up to the new year now. And we're going to start with a melody about return, song about return. I'm going to turn it back to Cantor Paul.
So this is a bit of call and response, meaning I sing something and then you sing it back to me. I know I can't hear you sing it back, but I believe I can feel it. So we'll try it. It goes like this. We return. We return. We return again and again. Let's do that last part again. We return again and again. We return, we return again and again to love, to love. One more time. We return, we return again and again. We return, we return again and again to love, to love. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kikedem Yalalai lai lalai 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 Yalalai lai lalai. We return, we return, we return again. We return, we return, we return again and again to truth, to truth. We return, we return, we return again. We return, we return, we return again and again. We return.
Now we're going to bless our Shabbat lights. If you have candles at home, you're welcome to light them along with us as we bring in the Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikne shel Shabbat.
In a moment, we are going to invoke the words of Lecha Dodi, but as is our custom, we take a little time before Lecha Dodi. In the traditional structure in the service, there's a psalm for the first 6 days of the week. And we've skipped over them, but there's a psalm for each day, and then Lecha Dodi, and then Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, a psalm for the Sabbath day. And so, in a sense, those psalms provide an opportunity as people go through them to reflect on each day through the week. And so we take that time, build that into our service, to go back to last Shabbat, to spend a moment on each day, on its blessings and on its challenges, to take a deep breath, to be present in this community today, in this virtual community. And we will then come back and sing together the words of Lecha Dodi. Take a few moments.
I think you're muted, Rabbi.
Nishima Aruka, a deep breath. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Shamor zachor b'dibur echan Yishme'anu El Hamyuchan Adonai Echan U'Shmo Echan L'Shem Tiferet V'Litgila Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mikerem nisucha so ma'aseh b'makshvat tila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Itoreri, itoreri, hiva orei, umeori. Shiraberi, Kvod Adonai, Alayich Nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzola toch emunei am skula boi kala Yalalai, B'nai Shabbat, Lekabbelah, Lechadodi Likrat Kala, Yalalai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Lekabbelah.
We continue on with Chatzi Kaddish. If you have a book at home, we are on page 26.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei V'chai echon uvyom echon uv'chayed echol bet Yisrael Bagala, bagala uvizman kariv veimeru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mivara leolam ul almei almaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yitztabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha v'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma ve'imeru Amen.
We rise in body or in spirit for Baruch Hu, our call to prayer.
Oh, am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Oh, am I awake? Am I aware? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yadadai dai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai.
Last three lines in the Hebrew.
El chai v'kayam Taminu l'chaleinu l'olam va'en Baruch ata Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. The more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form?
Ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Oelamo Israel.
Amen. Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha.
Yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 mi chamocha bailim Adonai mi chamocha nedar bakodesh noratilot oh say fella Malchut charau vanecha Bokeyam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Malchut charau vanecha Bokeyam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Yada dai 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 Yada dai 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 Yada dai 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 Yada dai 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 Yada dai 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 Yada dai 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 Seli anu ve'ameru Adonai lo elam va'en la da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 V'ne'emar Kiv'ad Adonai et Yaakov Ugalo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Amen. We turn to Hashkivenu as we ask the Holy One to shelter us with a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace, that we lie down with a sense of shalom each evening, a sense of wholeness and peace, rise up, l'chaim, with a sense of purpose, with a sense of life each day, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu ya Eloheinu Shalom. Hashkivenu ya Eloheinu Shalom. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha. Hashki Ya Eloheinu leShalom. Hashkiveinu Ya Eloheinu leShalom. Hashkiveinu Ya Eloheinu leShalom. Ushmor tzitenu voenu lechaim ulshalom et haviad olam. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu, sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Give thanks for the Shabbat, for the opportunity it gives us to renew ourselves, to reconnect with community, to reach out to the Holy One, to give a pattern and a rhythm to our week. Vishamru. If you have a book at home, we're on page 44.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lazor et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lazor et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veini uvein b'nei Israel, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, lazor et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lazor et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. U'beyom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, lazor et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We move into our Amidah, Tefillah prayer. We will do the introductory verse and the first three blessings together, then have some time for silent prayer and musical offering from Dr. Randy Polivoy. I'd like to invite you to stand in body or in spirit.
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'anora, El Elyon. גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid atah. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech memid umchayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch hu Baruch Shemo,
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Take a few moments for your own silent prayer.
Well, Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. I thought I would take a little trip down memory lane tonight by performing one of the very first choral numbers I was introduced to at TBI back in the mid-90s. And the music and the composer were sort of an enigma to me at this stage of the game, because one, I no longer had the music. Two, I knew that the music simply had, on the musical score, it said, above the music, music by Kinneret. Who is Kinneret? Actually, Kinneret is another name for the Sea of Galilee, And so I looked on the internet, tried to do some research about a Jewish composer named Kinneret. It came up totally empty-handed. So it was a little bit of it was in a bit of a quandary. So I reached out to TBI member Diane Schuster, who, after I hummed a little bit of the melody to her, she immediately went to her files and located it and sent me a copy. And provided me with some background information on the composer, whose name is actually Carol Raftery. And it's very interesting. It turns out that there is very much of a local connection between the composer and TBI. Back in the 70s and 80s, Raftery, whose Hebrew name happened to be Kinneret, was living in the Covina area. And she had composed music for local singers in the Pomona and San Gabriel valleys. Now, although her music remained largely unpublished, her work has come down to Kol HaEmek, which many of you know is the Jewish Choral Society of the San Gabriel and Pomona Valley. And this has been through copies of her work preserved by her former students. And another tidbit of information Diane provided is she also conducted a group known as the Chai Society, which included a number of TBI members. She has since moved out of the area. It's not known if she is still composing or not. Anyway, that being said, here's a bit of musical nostalgia for those TBI choir members or ex-choir members who happen to be listening. Ritzay, composed around 1984 by Carol Raftery or Kinneret.
Thank you, Dr. Polvoy. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So this week, we read from Ki Tavo. And one of the lines in the Torah portion is from Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. It says, "Now if you will hear and truly listen to the voice of God." And so one of the stylistic features of biblical Hebrew is that it often repeats key verbs twice in order to emphasize their importance. Traditional commentators who operate from a paradigm in which not a single word in the Torah is devoid of a possibility of meaning find profound insights in many of these seemingly unnecessary repetitions. So in this week's portion, we are instructed that if we listen to God's commandments, then we enjoy numerous blessings. This is a theme which is articulated again and again throughout the book of Deuteronomy. It's actually called Deuteronomistic theology. You do good things will happen. You do bad things will happen. However, in this instance, the verb shema, which means both to hear and to listen, is repeated twice, rendering a proper translation something close to, if you will hear and truly listen. The Tzfat Emet, a Hasidic commentary composed in the late 19th century by Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter of Ger, suggests that the dual use of the verb is to underline the difference between hearing and listening. He writes, "The living soul constantly hears the voice of Torah, but this is hidden from us. This is why the verse says, hear, listen. Listen to that which you are already hearing." Hearing is an involuntary act. Unless we have lost our hearing to physical illness or injury, or unless we jam our fingers in tight, we are constantly taking in the sounds of the world around us. We may choose not to look or to taste or to touch, but we cannot choose not to hear. We can, however, and often do, choose not to listen to that which we hear. Whether because of distraction or antipathy or indifference, we have a phenomenal capacity to shut our minds to the sounds that our ears let in. We hear news broadcasts about thousands of people dying around the world through pandemic of COVID, through people dying in catastrophes around the world, like in Haiti or in Afghanistan, through starvation. We hear about devastating hurricanes and fires, and then our minds shift to what we're going to have for lunch. We hear the words of our partners or our children and respond with, and indicate that their words are skipping like stones off the surface of our consciousness. We silence our own inner voice, our hopes, our longings, our dreams and fears, and go about our day disconnected even from ourselves. The blessing we recite before sounding the shofar is Lishmoa Kol Shofar. That's the ending of the blessing. To hearken or to listen to the sound of the shofar, that we're commanded to listen to the sound of the shofar. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of time and space, who hallows us with mitzvot and calls us to hearken to the sound of the shofar. Not, the commandment is not to sound the shofar, is not to blow the shofar. The commandment is to listen to its call. Every morning and evening, and just before going to bed, many Jews say the Shema and remind ourselves that listening is the fundamental religious act. It requires our recognition that our ears are not our only organ of listening. Equally important are open minds and hearts. These high holy days that are coming up are really about listening to the deepest yearnings of our souls, listening to and responding to the people in our life, to the cries of others, hearkening to the call of God. Redemption awaits on the other side of our capacity to really listen, not just hear, but truly listen. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to turn in now to our Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for healing of body, of mind, of spirit.
O Holy One, who blessed our mothers, who blessed our fathers from ancient days. Bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimaleh Rachamim Alehem, V'Hachzikam U'Rapeotam, V'Yishlach Lachem Refuah Shlema, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Toch Shar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts. Hear our prayer as we say their names.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Bela Pasternak, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Tobak, Paula Steinbach, Rosalind Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Gabrielle Silton, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Gloria Austin, Caitlin Antrim, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Susan Brewer, Marion Snyders, Kimberly Zimmerman, Brad Holland, Beatrice Caden, Meg Silton, Serena Postal, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarsky, Joe Kummerman, Ira Quatcher, Ellery Einstein, Ken Mitchell, Patricia Kramer, Ann Hudson, Lois Goodman, Lavini Feldman, Neil Gerard, James Cecile, Jack Rogers, Esther Bespris, Joan Morris, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Noach Ben Sarah, Gary Zirkelbach, Blair Pollock, and all of those we carry in our hearts.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Milei Rachamim Alehem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
I would like to invite Toyasha Sabag to join us virtually here on the Bima and share some announcements with all of you. Shabbat Shalom, Toyasha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. So I'd like to thank Rabbi for the parsha for this week, Kitavo, and for your insights. I'd like to thank you, Cantor Paul, for being Cantor Paul. And thank you to Dr. Randy Polevoy for the awesome music tonight, the music from Carol Rafferty. So happening over the next week at TBI, the deadline for submitting COVID vaccination confirmations was today, but has been extended through to Monday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone at the high holidays. Tomorrow, Saturday, August 28th, there is no Zoom CU. Instead, please join us for Slichot at 8 p.m., which begins with Havdalah. Sunday, August 29th, Hebrew Level 1 kicks our program from 1 to 2 p.m. Grades 5 and 6 grade safe for students and parents who will study Hebrew on Zoom with the amazing Dina Lang. For those who haven't studied Hebrew with Dina yet, she is an amazing teacher, and I highly recommend her Hebrew classes. Monday, August 30th, Tree of Life Center's first day of fall session. Also, if you haven't done so already, please donate to Deborah's Garden. Wednesday, September 1st, TBI Zoom CU at 6:45, followed by High Holidays Rebuild with Rabbi Cupid and Cantor Paul. This is the last class in a 3-part series. However, you do not have had to attend the last 2 classes to get something great from the 3rd and final class. I attended the class this past Wednesday, and as usual, found lots of value in it. Now for my self-plug, I am in charge of the Ways and Means and Community Space Committee. Ways and Means is the traditional term for increasing revenue, what we call fundraising, and very important function at TBI. Community space is the term we use to market and lease our various rooms to other groups in the general community. Current board members, as I said, is myself. And also I'd like to thank Cynthia Bassett, Joan Reyes, and Kylie Sykes for also being part of the committee. We meet on the third Sunday of every month on Zoom, and if you're interested, please reach out to me. Shana Tova, thank you everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Toyasha. So I'm just going to highlight, I will repeat slightly some of Toyasha's stuff, but you got an email about all the things that we want to make sure we have from you before Tuesday. Your plans for the High Holy Days, if you're a Beit Sefer family, Beit Sefer registrations, all those kinds of things. Please try to take care of that if you haven't already over the weekend. And I'll let Cantor Paul say something about tomorrow night, a little more specific than Toyasha was able to offer. So go ahead, Cantor Paul.
Thanks, Rabbi. For, I believe, 11 years now, the congregations along the San Gabriel Valley have gotten together to give a big spiritual kickoff to the High Holy Days by having a joint slichot service that kind of rotates through the community. This year was scheduled to be at TBI in person. We had very high hopes that that would be possible, but for the reasons I'm sure you're all more than aware of, it will not be in person this year, but we, along with our neighbors from 4 additional congregations, will be gathering on Zoom. Myself and rabbis and cantors from all of the congregations around us will gather at 8 o'clock. We'll start off with Havdalah, and then we'll spend some time in prayer and reflection and teaching, all within the context of our Slichot service. We expect about an hour, 15 minutes to an hour and a half. And I think it would be wonderful if many of you chose to attend. It is on Zoom. It is somewhat interactive in spots, but you'll be able to see those who are participating. We're getting close to 100 reservations right now. Expect many more. It will be also on our streaming channels, but if you want to consider doing the Zoom experience, the link is in the latest TBI Temple update. Just click on it. Pre-registration is good because it'll just get you into the meeting faster when it starts at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cantor Paul. And we're going to move toward the conclusion of our service to Aleinu Kaddish, sounding a song, sounding of the shofar, all of those things as we continue to get ready for our new year. I'm going to share my screen again. We'll continue with Aleinu L'Shabeach. Again, if you're at home with the book, it's on page 282 in the middle of the page.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol Latet Gedula Liotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kegoye HaRatzo Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Hadama Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam Vanachnu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Malach Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai L'melech al kol ha'aretz Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
We take a moment to remember those who have been important in our lives and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. Remember the recent deaths of John Sparnicht, father of Tanya Cooper, Myron Strober, father of Robert Strober, Doris Wirtz, aunt of Steve Sage, Barry Bashist, brother of Ira Bashist, Sid Cooperberg, father of Judith Bach. We remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Opal Hicks, Mel Jasker, Joseph Lefkowitz, Elliot Paul Robinson, Isidore Rudnick, Esther Schall, Sanford Scharf, Robert M. Schreiber, Myers Sophir, Alan Sussman, Milton Aptekar, Samuel S. Bach, Rose Edelman, Molly Elias, Faye Gilman, David Hauptman, Betty Mark Parness, Mike Schall, Herbert T. Schulman, Ann Shapiro, Joseph Tobias, Francis Bay, Morris Beer, Donald A. Boxer, Jerry Gitter, Esther Goldberg, Charles Lobel, Miles Perlis, Frank Pollinger, Bernadine Rosenberg, Samuel Fish, Harry Starr, Sarah Chavin, Lena Kaplan, Isidore Kirstein, Joseph Seltzer, Maureen Steffen, Pauline Dan, Arthur Fink, Gary Scott Shalen, and Abraham I. Savage. To those names, of course, we mention all of those who are in your hearts, all of those killed in Afghanistan this week, and all who we carry with us each day. Kaddish. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach Yerute v'amlich malchute v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dukudusha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiram bi'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav puya se shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen. Be'ado av kiduchi Eidi shan ve'a'ira Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo yera Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo yira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Be'ado av kiduchi Ve'edi shan ve'a'ira Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira. Tekiah, Shvarim, Teruah, Tekiah,
If you have a cup for Kiddush, or if you have a little juice or wine, you can grab it and join us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishid ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh HaShabbat Chaim.
L'chaim. And a little challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lecha min haaretz Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for our community slichot service. Hope to see you all soon. Take care. Lihitraot.
Shabbat shalom.